If you're constantly creating content and not getting clients out of it, this video is for you. Look, most business owners are out there creating some sort of social media content, email content, etc. We're constantly creating content, but a lot of times that content is not converting. And a lot of times that's because we are missing a few core content types. And no, I'm not talking about short form videos, although yes, you probably should be doing them. I mean, at time of filming, it's 2025, y'all. So today I'm going to walk you through the 3 types of content you should be creating consistently and give you some examples that you can use to help guide whether you're creating long form posts or emails or videos. This is going to help you out. In fact, I'm not usually a big fan of like social media content calendars, but if you wanted to make this your content calendar and say, okay, every single week I need to have one post that is doing number 1 type, number 2 type, number 3 type, then that's perfect. So the number 1 type of content you should be creating is visibility content. So the purpose of visibility content is to create something that will help you be seen by new audiences. It's top of funnel content. This stuff is entertaining, it's relatable, it is fast-paced, it's visual, whether that is, again, a post, like a text and graphic post, or whether that is a short form video, this is designed to get you out there in front of more people. If you look on this channel, there's a lot of short form videos that are much more funny and entertaining based than are educational specifically. So for example, again, whether you are creating posts with text and graphic, whether you are creating emails, or whether you are creating like short form videos, this is stuff that is funny, bold, short form, and is tied to your niche. This may not have anything to do with what you do exactly. It may be a video or a post that makes fun of the like darker sides of your industry. But the idea is something that gets people entertained and engaging with it, so they want to share it, and so it goes a lot further. This could also be personal stories, but personal stories that are not necessarily put together in a way to educate, which is one of the challenges a lot of small business owners run into. They try and do visibility content that's also like conversion content, and so they tell a story about a time they got screwed, and then so that's why everyone should buy from them. But that's not really a visibility story. A visibility story is going to be much more of like, oh my gosh, I had this thing happen today. And it's built and put together in a way where it's got a strong hook at the top so people are curious to watch. It's got a visual hook as well as a verbal hook, and it gets people engaged right from the get-go so they actually want to watch and engage it. Now, it probably should have some sort of relation to what you do, but it doesn't necessarily need to have a direct relation, and it doesn't necessarily need to have a direct call to action. The goal is visibility. The goal is just to get people engaging. And of course, the most obvious and well-known example of visibility content is trend-based content. This is taking a dance and then like turning it into something that relates to your business, or taking a trend. Maybe that's a lip sync video and then lip syncing it in a way that gets people thinking about your business. If you go look on like our shorts on this channel, you will see that like there's quite a few visibility content pieces that are just kind of fun. It's just lip syncs, or it's funny videos, or it's doing something visual that is just really meant to get people to watch and like or comment. The number 2 type of content you should be building is trust-based content. So the purpose of trust-based content is to help build authority, connection, and credibility. Now, as a side note here, all of your content should be consistent in terms of how you're putting it out there, with a consistent voice, consistent branding, design elements, because that is part of what builds trust. Because if every time they see your content, it looks very different and they cannot recognize that this is the same brand talking and representing itself, then it's not building trust, because all it's telling them is, I'm going to show up differently every single time. And most people don't want to buy from that. But you should also have content that is specifically designed to build trust. So this is going to be stuff that is like testimonials or awards, things where people have put their weight behind you. This could be, for example, if you get some sort of PR placement, like, hey, I just got featured on this, well-known news source. That can also be trust building. These can be mini behind-the-scenes videos that show your process or your values, and so it helps people understand why you do what you do. These could be simple carousels or tip reels. testimonials, things where you are like, once again, showing people either how to, or here's some tips for navigating something that relates to what I do. These could also be like, here's how I learned the lesson the hard way type of posts, where you help people understand why you do something that you do. And I do recommend keeping this down to a very specific thing that you do. Like, for example, if I did a post about not having a custom scent for our events, now I won't do an event without a scent, here's why. And then I could lay out my process for learning that my scent was helping people retain information better. It was helping people focus better. And it was helping actually train their brains so that throughout the entire year, they could be a better performer for their business. That's a really good, like, trust building content because it explains the why behind what I'm doing. And the last type of content you should be building in every single rotation is some sort of conversion content. Now, this doesn't need to be overt, but the purpose should be to get people to take action. Now, this does not have to be buying action. This could be trying to get people to opt into your emailing list action. This could even be as simple as trying to get people to go to your website action. This could be like actually buy a book, book a session, book time to time. It could be that too. But a lot of times people think that conversion content has to be focused on like converting to the sale. And it doesn't necessarily. You can be spending time training your audience, whether that's social media or whether that's through your list, to be acting on what you're telling them to do. Now, once again, you're probably going to have conversions built into everything you do. You should be trying to get people to comment and like and engage with your content all the way through your content. And that's technically a conversion. You got them to take action. But you should have a little bit more specific conversion focused stuff as well. The characteristics of this one is that it's going to be very clear. It's going to be benefit driven. There's going to have some sort of urgency or invitation behind it that makes people feel very, very inclined and focused on taking action. So examples of types of content you might do. You might have like a reel that has a really strong call to action at the end. For example, I have a client currently that is about to be waitlisted for a specific service that they only offer in the fall. So they're sending out a reel that says, would love to work with y'all. Don't forget, we will be waitlisted by the end of this month. If you want us to do this thing for you in the fall, please reach out to us now. And they're being a lot more succinct with that one, but there's a specific call to action. It can be apply now. It could be book now. It could be DM me. It could be, get in the comments, but there's usually a specific, it could be go to our website and sign up, but have a reel with a strong call to action. You could also have testimonials, which are doing the trust building, but also that have a specific call to action that is like, hey, here's what they tried before, maybe more like a case study, right? And here's what changed. And if you want to have the same results for you, give me a call. Or you could actually have a post that directly names the pain and then says, hey, if you've related to this, we should chat. DM me or reach out to me or visit our website, etc. But there should be conversion focused content in every round of content that you're doing. It just can't be all of the content that you're doing. Look, here's the deal. Visibility gets people in. Trust building gets them to stay. Conversion gets them to act. You should have posts and content going out that is focused on each element every single time you're doing it. And sometimes, yes, they do blend, but you should have clarity when you're building material on this is a visibility post. This is a trust building post. This is a conversion focused post. That is what you should be focusing on when you are building. I would encourage you to pick one type of post from each category and just create it. Don't overthink it. Just create it. Get it out there. Maybe that is a funny video. Maybe that is a testimonial post. And then maybe that is a pain post that invites the solution, right? But get those out there this week. Try it out. Just focus on one at a time. You'll find yourself threading the rest through there because that's what we typically do. And hey, if this makes a difference for you, come on back because we'll have more of this stuff in a couple of weeks.